Good morning. I'm Dennis Stauffer. I'm the kennel manager here at Delaware Valley Golden Retriever Rescue. This is Emmy, and she's being on her best behavior right now. But I'm a certified, not behaviorist, I am a certified dog trainer. Basic obedience training. I am not a behaviorist. But Emmy here is going to be awesome now. She is a young, less than a year old, and normally wild and crazy and jumpy, and she punches at you and scratches at you because she's attention seeking and wants attention, and that's usually why the dogs are jumping on Emmy. Emmy, look. Yes, good girl. So we've been working with her quite a bit lately because she was very jumpy, and there she goes. Now she's like, give me more. Good girl, yes. Good. So we teach her an alternate behavior. If dogs are jumping at you, it's usually attention seeking. They're like, give me food, give me attention, scratch my ears. And you don't want to reward them for jumping. A lot of people say, oh look, they want attention, and you hug them or you give them treats while they're jumping up, and you're rewarding them for doing a bad behavior, so they're going to continue to do it. So if the dog is jumping on you, it's important that everyone in the house is consistent. If one person doesn't like it and the others are rewarding it, and they're like, oh look, the dog loves me, she's jumping on me, and they hug it, then it's going to be twice as hard. It's going to take twice as long to teach the dog not to jump up, because sometimes the dog's allowed to, sometimes the dog's not. It's getting mixed signals. So you want to make sure everyone in the house is on board with the training and is consistent with the training. So most of the time, if a dog is jumping up at you, you ignore it. You know, if you start pushing and shoving or kneeing the dog and yelling down off, I mean, that usually just jacks the dog up, and they think you're playing with them, and they're like, oh yeah, this is fun, and they're just going to come back at you more and more. So if the dog is jumping on you, I won't even be able to get her to jump on me now. Emmy, come. Emmy, come. You're not even going to jump on me, are you? We've worked with her too well. There's a little bit. There's a little bit. But when they do that and they jump on you, I simply ignore them. I just cross my arms and turn my back. And usually they're going to circle around and come to the front of you and try to jump on you some more, because that's worked in the past, so they're going to try. And you ignore them and you turn your back. And when I'm working with a client and people are saying, you know, my dog is jumping, please get him to stop, and I say ignore that, and they go, oh well, I tried that, it didn't work. Like, well, you probably didn't try it long enough, because she has been, for the first 6 months of her life, rewarded for jumping on people, so she's not going to stop in a day or two. But you have to stick with it. So you ignore it and turn your back, and it gets difficult. It can be annoying, and the dog might try to nip at you, and what you need to do is praise that dog the second it stops jumping, and timing becomes really important, because if the dog stops jumping and sits for a half a second and then jumps up on you again, by the time you say yes, now you just rewarded and marked the dog for jumping on you again. So timing in dog training becomes really important. So you want to keep a peripheral, you know, keep your eye on the dog out the side of your eye. But if he's jumping on you and I'm ignoring and I turn my back, and as soon as that dog stops for a second, I'm marking, yes, good dog, good girl. And we've done it with her 100 times. That's why she's being so good right now. If new people come into the house, I mean, that's a whole other issue. People will say, when I have guests come over and the dog jumps on them, how do I get her to stop that? Again, it's good to teach a dog an alternate behavior. Is like sit or look at me, you know, focus, watch me. Hey, good girl, look. Yes, good girl. Come here, Annie, come. Sit. Yes. She has great eye contact. She's looking me in the eye. She's not looking at my hands, at my treats. And that takes time. And people sometimes want a quick fix. They're like, well, my dog's jumping on me, I want it to stop. And that's great, and we can work on that, but in the meantime we also have to work on some other commands of basic obedience, so we can redirect her when she is jumping up and you're ignoring and you're saying off. if you start using a command off for the dog to get down or get off of you, then you have to redirect to something that the dog knows. If you just say stop it, down, off all the time, then the dog doesn't know what it can do. So say no, ow, stop, off, sit, or look, and the dog goes, oh, I know that, I can do that. So oh, see, good girl, that was so good. Good. I didn't even have to ask her to sit, she chose to do it on her own. So, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. I think people don't stick with it long enough or think it's going to be easy to stop, and when it doesn't stop, they give up. So you really just have to stick with it. Ignore that dog when it jumps on you. Turn your back, and it can be a pest. It's going to keep trying to get your attention because it always worked before. How come it's not working this time? But then redirecting the second that dog stops jumping, when all 4 feet are on the ground, you mark it yes. Yes means that's what I wanted, and a treat will follow. So that's basically it. Again, going back to the whole idea of other people, if it's jumping on guests when they're coming in to your house, sometimes it's easier just to manage that situation by having your dog away in a crate or in another room until the excitement of entering and coming in is over. Once everybody's in and there's calm atmosphere, and then let the dog come out and greet. Give your guests a treat or two. Tell them to not interact with the dog, to ignore the dog. Don't go down and get her, let her come up and sniff them. Let them ask them to sit and give a treat. So there's a level of managing it, and it's not the time to work on it. At the moment people come into the house and the dog's already all excited and leaping and jumping, and then you're trying to get your dog back under control to say sit and down and off. You should be working on all that prior to the time when people start coming into the house. And keep the dog away until the energy level of the greeting is over, and then let your dog come out. Good girl, yes. Again, this is Dennis from DVGRR. Hope you like our training tips, and hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you do, and you can watch all of our videos there.